in 3. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Today we've got some strange stories. In fact, again, a radio that hasn't been active in 5 decades all of a sudden has started buzzing, but not so much buzzing, actual words coming out of it, and some people are concerned. This has been a radio that has been used when something serious is about to go down. I will play that for you here in just a second. But first, we're going to go over a couple of the other strange stories that are going on. Of course, Russian warplanes detected flying off the coast of America. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about the Blue Origin mission, which is absolutely almost laughable. Again, and I'm somebody who is not on the side of like thinking everything is fake above me. But man, does that look fake. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I do want to remind you guys, our contest winners were actually announced last night for the EMP Shield contest. That was done with EMP Shield. 5 winners actually got something. They all got an EMP Shield. 1 lucky winner ended up getting, of course, a $1,000 at griddown.com. If you end up wanting to protect yourself, again, the contest is over, but the sale is still going. You can get an extra $20 off on top of our $50, so that's $70 for 1, $160 off for 2. That's $50 per device plus their $60, and then again for 3, that's $150 plus $120, and $200 plus $200 on 4 devices. So if you're trying to outfit multiple people or multiple kids and make sure to protect their cars, then this is the best time to do it. That will not last. That is ending shortly after the contest. The contest ended last night. Marfooglenews.com/EMP. Make sure to use the code MARF. That's the same company protecting agencies like DHS and DOD, and now the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. All right, let's bring in my co-internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So we're going to play this creepy sound here in just a minute, but first let's go over the Russian warplanes detected flying off the coast of America and what happened there.
Well, you know, it's not crazy because we report this stuff all the time. It's not like it's earth-shattering, but given the tension of everything going on between the, Doomsday radio going off and what they're talking about even in NATO with Russia, having these planes detected in our ADIZ, which is exactly what happened. According to NORAD, they came out and said Russian aircraft had entered our ADIZ area. But this time they didn't tell us how many, what type, or any type of information about it, other than that they had penetrated the ADIZ zone. And that's typically what would happen is we would, ask for identification, understand what they're doing, and probably scramble our own jets up to visually confirm and make sure they stay away from our sovereign airspace.
What was it, Lily Tomlin, that said, what is it, reality is just a collective hunch? I think that's what, all reality is just a collective hunch. I think that, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like everybody is talking about war right now. It's like the collective hunch is that we are on the cusp of war. Unfortunately, that seems to be, it's turning into reality. And then NATO chief, Russia may deploy nuclear weapons in space. Again, Russia is considering placing nuclear weapons in space, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte said. Again, these are claims by NATO General. And it says NATO is deeply concerned about the Kremlin's plans, calling this potential development worrying. Currently, Russia's space capabilities lag behind those of the West. However, Russia is seeking to improve its space technology and could, in the future, engage in space warfare using nuclear weapons against satellites, Rutte said. Developing nuclear weapons in space is a way for Russia to enhance its capabilities. This is a major cause for concern, quote, he said. Such a move would violate the 1967 Outer Space Treaty signed by the U.S. and the USSR, the latter roles Russia has chosen to have inherited, including keeping a seat in the UN Security Council with veto power. Again, that space treaty is what actually gave them that power, and how they inherited that, they got benefits with it. So again, this is something that's always been in, as long as I've been alive. We've heard that in space, we're supposed to be peaceful in space. But of course, all of that, you're seeing the actual paperwork side of that fall apart. Again, this agreement, now part of international law, prohibits the placement of weapons of mass destruction in space that aims to prevent an arms race beyond Earth. Space has become increasingly crowded, dangerous, and unpredictable in recent years. We are aware that the competition in space is fierce and growing more intense. Not only in the commercial sector, it impacts our overall security. Space is now essential for NATO's deterrence and defense, he said. In January, Andrew Iskoubelis, the European Union's Commissioner for Space and Defense, called for the creation of a European space shield to consolidate defense efforts in space. So everybody is talking about weapons in space, including the president just a few days ago said that we have stuff that nobody even knows about. Obviously, we're making secret missiles in space or weapons in space, and that means that China and Russia are too. I've covered many events that were very, very strange, like the 2 amphibious assault carriers catching fire for 5 days, 3 months apart, and of course, no accelerant, no actual person that they could physically blame. And it's like, was this something like a magnifying glass on an ant from space? Tianjin, looked like a nuke went off. There's been a lot of events over the years that we were like, what the hell is this? And of course, recent events that people all debated online, whether it be true or not, it seems like they're doing something up above our heads. Our space chiefs and space generals, the commander, one of the highest ranking people up there at Space Force, said that there is a war going on above us. I believe it. As far as secret weapons, of course, we're not going to adhere to any of these treaties. We're the U.S. Of course, we're going to make nukes in space. We're the USA. And of course, we have the Blue Origin mission. As far as the real threats of space, I don't think Blue Origin's ever going to be one. I don't know. I thought this thing was fake before I actually watched this video. Dex, when you saw this, I mean, you and me are both, and not everybody in our community believes in anything up above us. Me and you both do, and seeing this, I thought it was fake before I even saw this video. I saw Gayle King and this other woman that supposedly went up with her, and they were doing an interview on one of the morning shows, and Gayle King was actually the guest instead of the host. And this woman sounded like she was going for beauty queen, like it's the kids. I talked to this little girl, and she said, "You inspire me. Now I want to go to space and this." And it was like they found somebody with the actual scientific background to have the PhD or whatever that they needed for that spot, but that had no acting capabilities. It was so overly fake. I was like, oh gosh, what the heck is this? But Dex, what did you think when you saw this video? We're gonna show just a couple little segments of this, and it's really crazy.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know if it's fake or not, and I'm not necessarily going to go there, but it's certainly staged. That's the main thing, and what we're going to show you here is how it was staged and what they did to make sure that they were able to get their camera shot the way they wanted it. And they could perform this dramatic egress out of the capsule the way they wanted it. But there's a lot of questions I have. And I'm not a space expert, but like the capsule looks pretty clean to me. And oh, by the way, it's like a whole bunch of just normal people standing around in a desert with pickup trucks. It doesn't look like anything you would normally see, even with SpaceX, which is a commercial operation. It just seems like it's you got Bezos out there in blue jeans and his his cowboy boots on, ready to get up on the spacecraft as quickly as possible. And every other time we see a spacecraft come back, it's like decontaminate it and check it for gas and all sorts of other crazy things. So yeah, it just looked really weird to me.
There's a couple.
Maybe it's because it doesn't really go into space, and I guess that's also questionable. I think they crossed the line, the Cambar line, just barely, which is the demarcation point for space. Maybe it's just they don't go that high.
This is the part, right? They end up going over this, right? And I want to show you this. So this is Billy Zig posted this. Look at this.
Oh my God! I saw the stars. I saw the curvature of the Earth. What's going to come out of her?
Right there, you see the door has opened from the inside, and later you'll see this door is popped open. This is supposed to be, and I don't know how it works. If they hit a button on the back end of it and drained it of its pressurization. But this just came in from space. They're supposed to release this thing with a special screw. From what I heard, you're supposed to do this, and it goes and it depressurizes. It would make sense if there was some sort of safety handle in the beginning or in the inside. If, nobody shows up, what if the thing got lost and you're in the middle of a jungle? Would they be able to open it themselves? That would make sense. But again, they open it. This lady stands in front of it. You'll see.
Her mouth, but really her heart.
And is that Jeff Bezos out there right by the capsule? Kind of hard to see.
That is correct. That is Jeff Bezos, our founder, on the left, as well as Sarah Knights, our crew member 7.
She starts laughing about it, and this is such an awkward laugh. She's like, ha, 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 how good they just opened up the door. Oh, man. And then puts her hands in her pocket. She is nervous. She turns around and looks at all of the reporters and people looking, and she's like, oh, gosh. And get this. They're both laughing about it. They're both
Okay, guys, did you see that? Let's go back and watch it one more time. Okay, now I want you to watch the hatch door open from the inside.
And then this other part, so then they go over this, they wait. This is like 5 minutes because they're supposed to wait for them to open this up, right? They're supposed to wait until he comes with this specialized, probably made in some sort of space manufacturer, and open this up.
It's at 3:31. 3:31.
So check this out.
Good? Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Here goes Jeff Bezos to open the hatch.
He barely touches it, and it just pops open, which, again, you could say it's because they already had opened it, and what he says right there, listen.
Good? Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Here goes Jeff Bezos to open the hatch.
She didn't really close it again. Come on out, guys.
He says, "You're right, Dex, now that I listened to it, she didn't really close it again." Listen. And it bounces. Now, I know it's supposed to be light for space, but the way that door just goes pop, 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 and bounces like it's one of my cheap rental doors, like the paper thin doors. This has they focus talking about how it has the biggest windows of any spacecraft and everything else. Even NASA, Dex was saying NASA's not even calling them astronauts. They're calling themselves astronauts, but because it is not a steered vehicle, they're actually just space travelers. Now, there's going to be a big debate if they're astronauts or space travelers. Really, I don't know what to call them at all. I mean, this thing just seems so overly staged.
If you cackle on the way up and scream like a little girl on the way down, I don't know if astronaut's the right title.
Yeah, this is like maybe a what do you call it, a circus ride. But again, with this, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. They did not work that out too well. Now check this out, the Doomsday radio. This is very, very creepy. So again, I'll read what this is. Russia's mysterious Doomsday radio, the UVB-76, just sent out 4 eerie, cryptic messages in just 24 hours. Neptune, Thymus, Foxcloak, and Nudabu. Active since 1975, this cold-era shortwave radio station usually emits nothing but static buzz until something big is about to happen. Its true purpose remains a mystery, but many believe it's linked to secret military operations or even nuclear protocols. So, it's very eerie, very creepy. And just like we say Tango Foxtrot, you know, they're spelling it out. And the messages were Neptune, Thymus, Foxcloak, and Nutabu. Again, this is a very, very creepy sounding recording. Does it really mean that, you know, something just absolutely disturbing is going to happen? I don't know, but that's what people have been claiming. As far as the timing of it, just look at the timing. Everything is just absolutely creepy right now. We have, of course, 1,500 North Korean soldiers spotted on the South Korean border. We have, of course, Chinese soldiers spotted fighting with, Russia, supposedly. You, of course, have the southern border being protected and even orders being sent to repel invasions. You have Russia off of our coast. You, of course, have China testing out their offloading mechanisms, their centipede, creepy drop ships, and they're doing port-busting protocols and surprise drills. I mean, everything spells that we are very, very close to an extremely, extremely crazy event. Dex, as far as this shortwave radio station goes, I mean, you know, we can really tell as much as anybody else, right? It's just speculation at this point.
Yeah, nobody knows. Like it's secret, and at the same time, it hasn't been used. It's been up and operational with static on it since the 70s or whenever it first started, but you never hear anything. So out of the blue, all of a sudden we get something communicated. That's, somewhat eyebrow raising for sure.
Yeah, that's very creepy. Leonid Simon, Olga Pavel, Leonid Lespol. F and SH sounds like my substitute. A couple people went up. Nudabox with CS possibly. Looks like people are going through it and actually breaking it down. I wonder what this is. Final decoded message. So UVB 76, somebody says that they have this somewhat figured out as a detailed operational plan for a multi-stage operation with each block corresponding to one of the cryptic words. Neptune, instruction, prepare for a naval operation, possibly in Black Sea or Arctic. Speculative based on context, not exact coordinates. Thymus, defensive measures, bioweapons. Instruction, activate bioweapons defense or troop readiness. Well, hopefully it's troop readiness. And Foxcloak, covert operation, execute a covert operation, possibly a FF, involving bioweapons linked to protocol 8002, or code 7000 and 0 might indicate a cyber espionage operation, execute at 8:09 hours, possibly the next day. Okay, that's creepy. Nudabu, geopolitical statement, reject Western influence, possibly through a symbolic action or operation. Diplomatic code 62, operation ID 405, target zones. Andaman Sea, Arctic, possibly indicating naval or strategic posturing. And then right now we've got Russia flying off our west coast. I don't know who this is decoding this, but gosh, if that was true, that is very creepy.
Wouldn't they just use like Telegram channel?
Don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, nowadays, but maybe this
it worked for Hegseth, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the heck this means. Maybe they have certain people stationed places where they only are listening to this radio. I mean, that's just really creepy. Somebody else broke down Neptune, god of the sea, ruler of the unseen, symbol of the deep. Deception, rising chaos, fog rolling in. Yeah, I don't think they're doing your what do you call it? Your your fortune here. Foxcloak sounds like a black op. Nudabu, a wild card, not a known card, and grammatic. Yeah, I think the first guy, I don't know why he's creepily sounding accurate, but maybe he just is able to make it sound like he knows what he's talking about. I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And then also, if you have tips, you can go to marfooglenews.com. Not only can you find this video, but the other, you can find a full list, a bibliography of every source, article, tweet, video, picture, document we just showed you here today. You can go through it and listen to it yourself and tell us what you think. Not only that, at the very top, there is something called MFN Tips Lines. If you go up to that, make sure to click on that blue, bam, and then you can actually fill out an anonymous tip. So if you have something, if you believe you know what this means, let us know. But you might want to let us know quick if some are saying this means that an event happens tomorrow. All right, you guys, share us out, please, if you can. We don't get out to anybody unless it's through you guys. There is a wall up, and we hit it every time. So thank you guys for sharing and bringing your friends in. Appreciate you, Dex. Thank you. And then join us over on Marfoogle TV, our full show, where we'll not only talk about this, but we'll break down the last 24 hours, including everything else that's going on. We've got China claiming that they can sink our Navy in 20 minutes. If you have family in the service, I would highly recommend that you end up watching that video. Again, the show coming up right after this, make sure to come watch it. All right, and we'll see you in just a minute.